decided to drop on and do a little live stream real quick for whatever reason. I'm sitting up here. Welcome to Sheldon TV. You know who it is. I'm sitting here looking at First Take. First Take. And Stephen A., Molly, Dan Orlovsky. Shannon Sharpe is on here. And they're arguing about this Michigan thing. For those of you who aren't really sports fans, it's the fact that the college got caught cheating. And but because of the coach of the team, it's strongly felt that there's a lot of leniency being given because of the coach of the team. In retrospect and history of NCAA regular practices, how they've destroyed programs, taken scholarships. They destroyed programs. The death penalty for the same type of thing. And it just seems as though that there might be some favoritism shown. Now, Stephen A. and Shannon are saying, listen, we understand because they keep trying to justify saying there's so many other teams doing this and the kids shouldn't suffer. But like an executive said from the NCAA, and one of the college executives said, it doesn't make a difference. The kids are collateral damage. It wasn't their fault. They didn't know, but they still have to lose too. They shouldn't give Michigan the opportunity to be able to play in the tournament because of these allegations. It is just, and I can understand if you don't know, you don't know. But if they feel strong, if their division, a conference feels strong enough, even though they said that they don't have solid evidence of it, they suspended him. And only thing I'm making here, and you know me, I like coming and keeping it real and making sure that the narrative is true, genuine, and just objective. Definitely that. But I also like to distinguish things, and Shannon got mad. Or Shannon's feelings was, from the way that he expressed himself, it seems as though he was trying to tell Stephen A. that they just don't understand. And that comes from a position of privilege and not really knowing with your blinders on. You know what I'm saying? But Shannon and Stephen A. know because, they're brothers. So they understand law. They understand the application of law. Let me put it that way. They're not lawyers, but they understand the application of law in the real world. Because we know one thing that Shannon said. He said if he was speeding and the cop pulled him, he could sit there and scream all day, look at them, they're speeding, look at them, they're speeding. But the point was that you're the one that got caught. And that's just the bottom line. If you get caught and you're breaking a rule or you're breaking a law, you got to pay the consequences. Ignorance is no excuse for the law. I mean, that's something that I've known. I had to stand in front of a judge for 3 years in a process that I went through. And one thing about that is it really helped mold me to understand how society works, the mindset of the masses, and the importance of narrative and the importance of imagery. All of that you come to understand if you're a person who ever had to engage in court proceedings and be involved in it, for a decent amount of time instead of just having to go and plead for a ticket or whatever the scenario may be. You in there in 20 minutes, you out, and that's the end of everything. I'm talking about when you have to face some things and it comes to a point that your character is extremely important, your presentation is important, your ability to communicate is important, your comprehension skills and your comprehension has to be on point, because if you get caught slipping and not understanding and not paying attention, that can cost you. It can really cost you. So, but get off of that soapbox. But Shannon said to Stephen A., anything that we decide to do or talk about, we ain't gonna invite them to come in. And he was basically saying, nah, they ain't our kind of people. They got to understand, and I love that Stephen A. and Shannon really kind of bring a balance there, for we can people can kind of have a better understanding of the mindset. But not only that, for brothers like us and for us, that we can respect the fact that we got a couple of guys on here that's keeping it real. and I really enjoyed that. I really like it. That's why I always, whenever I get a chance, and I love what Shannon doing. Shannon ain't no joke, man. He's a Southern boy, so he see his perspective and the things that he see different from Stephen A. is huge. I'm a Southern boy, lifelong, 50 plus years. In the deep South, I'm in the most southern state in the Union. I'm in Florida, and I'm in South Florida. Even though I spent a lot of my life, I was raised up in the Panhandle, what they call the Redneck Riviera. So for those of us country boys who've been out here and really understand, especially going back to the 70s and 80s, where there was a point where in junior high we were having race riots. It was just facts. In junior high, 13, 14-year-olds, 12, 13, and 14-year-olds. Fighting, literally fighting. So I like the fact that Shannon understands his opinion is good. I love his articulation. He's come a long way, man. I mean, I love it. I love it. But what I came here for is to say that it's just a cultural barrier. See, Molly and Dan, they've never experienced anything like we've experienced, and that's what Shannon and Steven is trying to really express and get across to them. I like Steven. Steven is a very passionate cat, man, and he articulates like he's well read, and I can appreciate that shit all day, every day. So, it's just important for me more so than anything. The reason I really did come, because one, it's time for me to just come on out this shell and just be 100% me and be able to have some conversations, man, some good shit, some cerebral stimulators. And, sometimes we just talk about some dumb shit. We might just get on a gossip tip one time and talk about the stupidity of society because life has become very entertaining. And that's the beauty of it. It's just, perception is everything. It's what you actually can grab out for yourself out of whatever the scenario is. You got some people that people say, oh, they dark because they might find humor in something that for the majority might not find humor in. And it might not be something that's malice or anything that's, hateful. But literally their view and their skew, it might trigger some humor in them. And that's just how it works. So really, it's all about your mindset. And it's been a big conversation, and it's a big movement about mental health. And I do agree with that because really, your brain is if any muscle that you have to work out and make it its best is your brain, your mind. Two different animals. Brain and mind are two different animals. The brain is the machine. The mind is the driver. You feel me? But going back to Dan Orlovsky and Molly, it's a cultural difference. Because I didn't want to get too skewed, because I can just go off on a rampage and be running my mouth. You know what I'm saying? But because I have brain orgasms. The thoughts be coming all the time. Life, your words to me, if we have the conversations, is visual to me. It's like I see continuously moving images in my mind when you talk, because that helps me to grasp the conversation better. So that's how my mind is programmed. But anyway, it's a cultural barrier because, like I said, Dan Orlovsky, one thing he keeps saying about the Michigan program is the kids. But there's been programs who've been destroyed because of bad things that their program had done, and it wasn't their fault. But they lost their scholarship. The ones that went there that was expecting the program to become whatever program they expected it before they could leave or enter the draft to do whatever they decide to do is changed because of those actions. It wasn't their fault. It wasn't their fault. Like they were saying, look at Pete Carroll and the Reggie Bush situation with USC. And the one thing Dan Orlovsky's saying is, but they're a great team. They were not better than that USC team. Shit. No way. Michigan is no way as good as that USC team with Pete Carroll. Fuck that. But yeah, man. So, I'm just glad to be able to, get this momentum going where I can come on here and I can just be me. My space, I got quite a few spaces, and I'll probably be inviting you guys into them because, it's just time. I just love life. I love being able to meet new people and be able to just share some space, man. And that's what my spaces are for, to kick it with people like me. And I have multiple spaces. expressway. You know, they like to say stay in your lane. And I've said this several times. And if you looked at any of my other little random recordings I've dropped or live streams, you know, I'm an expressway, multiple lanes. You know, people like to say stay in your lane, stay in your lane. I'm the one you got to look out for because I take up all the lanes going in both directions. That's how my mind avenues work. They stay busy. On some green tea, man, it's beautiful. Just one of them days. It's been raining all day. But welcome into Sheldon TV. I'm getting ready to flip this thing. I'm actually going on vacation with my queen at the end of the week, and we're going to be away for a week, ready to head on up to the Lou and get a chance to kick it with family, get a chance to kick it with my favorite couple, my brother and my sister-in-law. I love them kids, man. We have a good time. We're together, make some good memories. So I'm looking forward to that, being able to get away and really not have to inundate myself with thought. You know, that's one thing about me. I can never stop thinking. I can never stop. Ideas will never stop churning in my head, man. It never stops, never. And I like being able to just kind of chill out and have light thought, very light. You know, because I build hard. And my creativity never stops. It never stops. There's always an idea coming up. And I do like it because one thing it does help me to do is help me with my own information. So, you know, one thing about me, if I come up with an idea and it's a solid idea, I never forget it. It don't matter. I never forget it. And that's why even when I'm talking to my baby, you know, I'm like, she's like, you don't forget nothing when it comes down to the thing that you come up with because it's my passion, it's my love. And that's what I do. And like I said, I brand build and broadcast. Those are my loves. You know, the branding part more so reflects creativity. You know, the engineering of things, the architecture of things, the infrastructure building of things. That's what the branding part is. The building is actually sitting down, putting on my hard hat, and putting it together. You know, that's the building part of it. Getting my hands dirty with my mind. You feel me? And then broadcasting. It speaks for itself. You know NPN TV, NPN Radio, and NPN Voice. Neighborhood Planning Network, Neighborhood PBS Inc. And we have some great properties and some spaces that's there that we appreciate. If you get a chance, go over and jump and take a look at 420 Hip Hop Festival because we do own 420hiphop.com, and that's one of the spaces that we're looking to develop and bring together the cannabis community, canaculture, and hip hop, because we're such a part of it. I'm a hip hop head. I'm hip hop authentic. You know what I'm saying? I go back OG style, go back to the golden era, like they like to call it. That's my time. You know, early '80s, '81 to now. So, you know, just really trying to get my things in place, and again, getting a chance to let y'all get to know me and have some conversations with me, and just feel me. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel if you feel me, you'll really understand and really roll with me on quite a few of these initiatives that I do have. Because really, you know, we all stay busy. We all stay busy. But I think that if you can have a very positive busy, it's a good thing. Kind of like octopus, the center is just one big orb full of energy, and you got your tentacles out there touching everything that you need to be touching and messing with and fucking with every area you need to be fucking up in, you know. And they call it disrupt. I'm calling it disturbing the peace, because really, when you see people always smiling and comfortable and stuff and things like that, they're peaceful. They're at peace, man. And regardless of whatever their choices of finding that peace, they're peaceful, and that's where I like to be. But I also like to disturb that peace that really isn't peace. You feel me? They're comfortable, and for them they're peaceful, but it means that they're not harmonizing and actually balancing everything so things can actually and truthfully be peaceful. It's that their world is peaceful. And so we have to kind of have that kind of consciousness. You feel me? Reach out, hold each other's hand, but we all gotta make our own space that. We got to everybody got to make their own space, that space, you know, where all the energies can eventually come together. They might be built differently and engineered differently, but as long as you still have that same positive energy with a sense of purpose, that's important. That's why I say me, I'm here to disrupt the narrative and disrupt the imagery. Even, and the cool shit is, I love the fact that there are creators out here and they're doing their thing and they're getting their checks, man. You feel me? They're getting their checks. Their shit is getting bought, and that's beautiful. I appreciate that. But in my opinion, I just think things should be done differently as far as the content itself. Because a lot of the content has to do with, slinging dope and strippers and driving exotic cars and wearing designer brands, strong in the streets. And our communities is deeper, way deeper and doper than that shit. Deeper and doper. And I was around when that shit first hit. I was around. And I'm talking about from just being, for me, I went from country to corporate, and from country to curb to corporate, and it's a lot of things that I've seen, during my lifetime, and that wisdom that I have and those experiences, I want to share with you through the things that I create for you to see and feel. Because there's a part of me in everything that I build. Everything that I build. If you've been on NPN TV and you've seen, some of the shows that have been broadcast there, you see Social Therapy. Those things are me. When you start seeing the spots and the commercial breaks, it was all of that was produced and edited and arranged by me. And you can see the imagery is different. The feel for it is different. And that's the purpose of coming here with Neighborhood Planning and Neighborhood PBS, because you have public broadcasting, you have the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and they have all their PBS stations. Only thing we're looking to do is to create that same type of space for like-minded individuals that look like us. I feel as though public broadcasting needs a friend. It needs a friend. I love public broadcasting. That was my entry into the industries in '87. Was through public broadcasting. And I love it. I love everything it stands for. I love that it has a profit with its purpose. I love the fact that it helps to build families and communities and share information that empowers us. I love all that shit. But the point for me is, still, if I want to receive that information and I want to be able to engage and get enlightened by that information, I still got to go in a space that's not consciously suitable. I'm searching for words. Consciously suitable for me. I think a certain way. I understand the overall view of things. I understand the overall global and world view. I understand that. Now, I have to start being specific to a point that you might want to call it socially selfish. Socially selfish. And what I mean is, we all engage in these spaces and participate in these spaces. But yet still, we can't talk like we would talk if we were at the family reunion. You feel me? That's what Neighborhood Planet is about. That's what Neighborhood PBS is about. It's about a space for us to be able to have some real, true, honest, and genuine conversations with one another without being overbearing, without being disrespectful, without being narcissistic, but open conversations, man, some real shit. Where we can talk with each other, like I say, like we do at the family reunion, when become family, to be able to talk like family talk. The one thing like about my family, I love my family because we all can have honest conversations with each other. If you feel I'm out of pocket and I need to tighten up on my shit and whatever, believe me, my family gonna tell me just what it is, and I love them for that. Because all of us get wrapped up in ourselves and the things that we got to do and accomplish and get finished with, and we get so focused a lot of times. Give me a second. Let me clean this up. We get so focused sometimes that we don't see those on the outside of our circle, or we don't see those lot of our attention span at that particular time because our attention is focused in one area alone. For some of us, like I said, I'm a very creative person. Cerebrally, I think my landscape is extremely broad, like 180, and if not, it's 170. You know what I'm saying? But, but, just we have to be in a space where we can have conversation with each other and be honest with each other and not be so offended and not pass judgment, because that's where all of the crippling comes from, because it's still so strong that someone can look at you and don't like you because of the way you look. And regardless of if you're in your professional environment and your productivity is off the charts, regardless if you do that, regardless if you are well manicured, meaning you dress tight every day, you smell good every day, you smiling every day, regardless of anything. Never been seen stressed out. If that's going on as well, everything about you reflects that things in your life is good. And that's relative. One thing that I understand about a lot of conversation is it's all about relativity. Because what I think is successful, you might not think. What I feel is what wealth is, you might not think. So it's always about relativity. Relativity, regardless if it's poverty, wealth, health, whatever it is, it's all about relativity. So we just have to have that space. And that's what I'm looking to create, is spaces. Spaces where we can have real conversations, and spaces where they're conversation specific. Arts and culture over here, music's over here, health and wellness is over here. You know what I'm saying? Lifestyles are over here. That type of thing. Spaces where we can have real conversations with each other and without people be able to have objective conversations where it's all about a give and take, a listen and a speak type thing. Those are the spaces that I'm looking to have here on Sheldon TV. Also, a huge component of NPN TV, NPN Radio, and NPN Voice. So I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I'm getting ready to try to. I'm not even getting ready to try. I'm actually dedicating myself really to be the little engine that could. That's my. I'm the little engine that could. So, welcome to Sheldon TV. Your boy, Success Architect. I'm going to be sharing some information as well about Hustle Frat, which is Phi Alpha Iota Delta, paid, socialpreneurial frat. I'm just finishing the basic structure of it and making sure that everything is in place where I can look to bring in other socialpreneurs and be able to share some information and get a chance to share with you what I'm looking to do with it, and see if we can put a team together, man, and a team that can just do some things, have some voice, have some presence, because I think it's needed. I think it's needed very badly, and I'm sure that there's others out here that think like me. And it's just all about a balance. It's just really all about a balance. But everybody, I thought my computer was plugged in. Have a good rest of your Monday. Happy start of the week. Remember, you got to stay focused and grind. I'm just going to be coming here and pass some information. You know what else? I have some information that was shared with me about the new rule pertaining to LLCs. The one thing about information when it gets started, it's a herd mentality. Everybody running to do it. 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 But sometimes you got to be a forward thinker. And I think the Creator for giving me that ability is that I do have the ability to forward think. And a lot of times, things that I've done and things that I've participated in, it's just not getting trendy 30 years later, 25 years later. A lot of stuff. When I say a lot of stuff, those who really know me intimately will tell you a lot of stuff. I was around when international business was done on fax machines. You will have 30 time date stamps scrolled across the top of it before you even get into the facts. But anyway, we'll talk about that too. But I just got some things I want to share, especially like I said about the LLC and this new law that's coming out. And you LLC owners are going to have to be conscious of this, because regardless, the one thing about those governmental agencies, they're going to enforce. Just like a lot of people was taking for granted the PPP thing, thinking they would just, they'll never do it, they'll never do it. Yeah, they can do it because now they have the technology. It don't take as much manpower. And it makes a big difference now that they have technology that can instantly retrieve data. It's going to be a lot of things changing. But I want to share, like I said, I want to share this rule with you guys. Matter of fact, it'll be over on the Success Architect Network. So go check me out over there, successarchitect.net. The Success Architect Network is definitely about building branding and broadcasting. So I'm going to be over there maybe sometime today or tomorrow, just to give you some conversation and maybe bring my guy on to let you guys know about this new LLC law that's coming out that you guys should know about. You should know about it. If it's going to affect your revenue or cost you more taxes. Matter of fact, I think what he told me is, now that I'm thinking about it, your transparency is much greater. Your transparency is much greater. Meaning that you know how with the LLC that you have the ability to minimize your liability. Minimize your liability because you have other members in your LLC. And it gives you the ability to do the business without the exposure to you personally. You personally, your liability is very limited because of your exposure. But now the new law is going to take away some of that. And your transparency is going to be much greater. And I use terms. I use terms in a much different light than a lot of others because of my business experience and my transactional experiences. And there's certain things that you seek when you start playing at different levels. There's certain things that you seek that gives you more comfort, less risk, because you have to think about it. With less visibility, there's less risk. Meaning that if only thing I ever heard was your voice, if I'm doing business with you, you really had a lot less risk because I still couldn't identify you, because I couldn't say, oh, I heard him. It'd be much different than if I said, oh, I seen him. I was right there. I could pick you out at any time because I seen you. One thing about a voice, you can disguise a voice. So, and I know that's something that's basic, really, but I'm saying it to say that the new law is going to give you more exposure, period. Give you greater risk. So I'm going to share that over on Success Architect Network, where I'm going to actually put together an announcement and shoot it out so everybody can see it and be able to come on, ask questions, man. Because my guy's a G. he's been a licensed banker. Damn, I don't even know, man. Let me see. I met him in '95 or '96. So we almost been friends for 30 years. I met him right in Midtown Manhattan at the investment bank. At his investment bank, I was woo. This is a story to tell. But anyway, we're still friends. He's still in the game, doing his shit strong. I love him for it. I've seen his evolution. We've had many conversations. Really, he's just he's my brother. He's my brother. So I'm gonna bring him on. Name is Ken Lamantia. I'm gonna bring him on just to be able to answer questions for you guys. So any business owners that's out there, I think you guys want to catch up and check up with us, man, because he's full of information. And actually, that's how I'm actually gonna launch my channel. I'm gonna launch my channel with him, and that's gonna be answering questions for business owners. So I'm gonna start sending out some of this stuff and being able to have some conversations with everyone, and some empowering and knowledgeable conversations. Empowering and knowledgeable conversations. I think that's something that's needed. And so Success Architect Network, getting ready to drop. Building, branding, and broadcasting. Empowering, enlightening, engaging, enlightening, enhancing, and empowering. That's what it's all about. Building, branding, and broadcasting. So, appreciate your time, man. I got to get on up out of here. I've been on here half an hour just running my mouth, This is something I'm going to go back and look at and remember and be able to just build from here. So, yeah. Y'all check out Success Architect Network getting ready to launch. It's going to be a dope spot, man, because there's going to be a lot of conversations going on about a lot of different things. So, it's your boy. We'll catch up.